Hi there, and welcome. To get started, I would love to know how much you know about this model, whether you're brand new, self taught, some courses, or if you're a certified practitioner. So drop a note in the chat to let us know. And also, what is your biggest struggle when working with logosynthesis? Start a bit about my background to help you appreciate how it shapes my logosynthesis experience. I grew up in a large family on a busy dairy farm here in Canada. I studied dietetics and got an executive MBA, and I enjoyed a demanding, fast paced corporate career in production, marketing, and sales in the food industry. As a dietitian, my health focus was on prevention to support healthy living, and I had a strong interest in organizational behavior because early on in my career, I recognized the subtle and yet important impact of human behavior on results. I thrived on Kaler's drivers: hurry up, try hard, be strong, and to some extent, please others and not so much be perfect. And so when I met Willem and was introduced to logosynthesis, in many ways, I was an unlikely candidate to listen. I was fine and I didn't need help. I wanted to make a difference by changing things around me. And for anyone with knowledge of logosynthesis, you may begin to imagine my struggle. But I made a commitment to listen and learn, even when it wasn't what I wanted to hear. So I have my story about my reasons to listen, just like each of you have your own reasons. And I came to appreciate that this model could help me shift long standing traits. It's not always comfortable. It doesn't happen overnight. It's an ongoing journey, but I am committed to noticing my reactions and applying logosynthesis. Today, I could not be happier with my results. So, the case example I'm offering occurred early in my logosynthesis training. And to this day, it reminds me of the simplicity when the basic principles and procedures are followed. And as I tell the story, I'll ask you to pay attention to the principles for your own self coaching work and in guiding others with logosynthesis. So feel free to drop comments and questions in the chat as we go. And there will be a recording of this video afterwards. So, yeah, listen along. The story is also described in my book, Logosynthesis: Enjoying Life More Fully. So here it is. One beautiful June evening, I dropped my daughters off for basketball practice and I went to run a few errands. A friend, Allison, happened to be out for a walk while her daughter was at a nearby soccer practice, so I stopped and chatted. I inquired about her day, and she explained that she had had a presentation that didn't go as planned, and as a result, she had a pounding headache since midday, and hence the walk. This was a familiar headache in her work as a professional trainer and facilitator. We talked about what happened, and in short, she had been challenged in front of a group of people, in front of her clients, to defend the numbers in her presentation. And although she knew the numbers were right, on the outside, she held her composure. Inside, she was far from calm. Her client indicated that she was just going to go and double check the numbers while Allison continued the presentation. And she returned 45 minutes later, apologizing for the confusion. So Allison's presentation wrapped up just fine, but the pounding headache persisted. So we had already discussed logosynthesis, but she said she hadn't really been able to get the hang of it. And so that's common. And since we were waiting for our daughters and we had some time, and since I recently completed the basic training, I offered to guide her through the process. And she was interested. She, we had connected with the thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. So we went back into that a bit. And on a level of distress, she rated it 8 out of 10. And I asked her to notice if any images or sensory perceptions were in her personal space. And she took her time to assess. And she said, I have this image of a black hole in front of me. So I offered the sentences on this image, and she felt an easing as the sentences processed. And she said, now it's more like a 5. So we thought we were doing pretty well. We had assessed how she felt, identified the trigger, applied the sentences with the pauses. We did the post assessment. There was a reduction. So we gave ourselves a pat on the back. And we still had some extra times before the practices were over. So we continued to chat. And I could sense that there was something more to this pounding headache. So I asked her, I said, do you want to explore this a bit further? And she was now aware of this image of a brick wall of her elementary school. She's like, I don't know where that image came from. It's got nothing to do with my pounding headache. I'm like, so I said, well, we don't analyze the imprint, we'll apply the sentences. And I could tell by her facial expressions that there was an energy shift. And after several minutes, she explained that she had a memory from when she was 5 or 6 years old, and she had been playing with a group of boys. And one was swinging her and let her go, and she went flying into the brick wall and was knocked unconscious. And as she regained consciousness, she wasn't able to remember anything. And she's like, well, now that image of the wall is right in front of me. So that was our label for the sentences, the next cycle. And as the sentences processed, the image of the wall moved back and the pounding of the head eased. So that was 3 cycles of logosynthesis. And after, as we reassessed, she explained that the memory of the principal had come out and demanded to know who had been swinging her. And she had no recollection at the time, but she was being forced to pick somebody out of the crowd. And at that point, she just wanted the pain to stop. And she wanted everyone to stop looking at her as they waited for an answer. And as she said that, she's like, wait a minute, that's very similar to what I experienced earlier in the day. I just wanted everyone to stop looking at me as they waited for the answer. And her headache was now gone. So we were a little stunned as to how it all unfolded. And in the length of time that we would normally carry on a casual conversation, she was able to resolve a pounding headache without having to try to recall a series of events that might have caused this headache. She simply allowed herself to connect with what she was experiencing and followed the guided process. And the entire process was in the range of 30 minutes. And at the end, she felt fine, reportedly followed by very good sleep. And so I checked in the next day. She was good. And now, more than 5 years later, she still doesn't get these headaches anymore. So the case study is described in my book, Logosynthesis, Enjoying Life More Fully. And it, along with my second book, Thriving in Our Times, From Reactions to Action Using Logosynthesis, were written to guide you to better understand how you can start using logosynthesis right away in your everyday life. And many people prefer videos to books, and so you can now access an app-based coaching through Essence Unlock Potential on the App Store. So, and again, this is free and paid content to help you incorporate logosynthesis into your everyday living. As a master practitioner and instructor in logosynthesis, I also support others through one-to-one coaching and through live courses, mainly through Zoom. Why? Because sometimes we get stuck when we're self-coaching, and having the expertise of a guide to support the process can clear blocks very quickly to move forward. And it doesn't have to be with me. There's a complete list of logosynthesis practitioners and training seminars that are available on the LEA website at logosynthesis.international. So my goal is to guide you to incorporate this model into your everyday routine so that you can be more present and make a difference in your everyday life without getting stuck in those stressful patterns like those pounding headaches. So a significant part of the training curriculum is doing your own work, if you're becoming a practitioner. And the resources that I offer are to support your training and offer insights as to why and how you can use it for yourself and with others. So if you're looking for transformational shifts, it requires a commitment to do your own work. I can't do it for you. It's done one layer at a time, and you can be guided along the way. So the transformational change involves shifting your energy so that it is available to you. And, again, I say my focus is everyday living. And why? Because, we're often not aware of how stressed we are and how much that stress impacts our health, our wealth, our work, and our relationships. And the key takeaway for me is that when I'm stuck in those stressful patterns, I don't even see the pattern. It's just the way things are. And so it's hard to be self aware when my beliefs and memories block my awareness. Not only does logosynthesis guide me to identify and resolve the trigger, it guides me to be actually aware of the issue in the first place. Right. And so, I love guiding people to do the same. And you can get started with the resources, read the books, sign up for app-based coaching, book one-to-one coaching, attend live courses. And I'll be offering a free webinar after this conference to show you how you can be present and make a difference without getting stuck in stressful patterns. And along with Mary Lucky, we will be offering the Logosynthesis self-coaching course. So the links for the sign up are in the post-conference page. And the post-conference page contains many other valuable resources from many instructors in logosynthesis. So it's a great opportunity to explore what is possible to support you to enjoy your life more fully. And yeah, and now we'll take a few minutes to discuss what you noticed. Drop your observations and questions in the chat. And thank you so much for attending this presentation and for attending Logosynthesis Day. Take care.